never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the power, and we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free, and I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
Boo! Oh, forgot to take that off. How are you tonight, folks? Hope you're doing all right. Been a good day for you. The world isn't treating you too badly. Nothing too terribly awful happening. I'll try and find that thing and turn that off. There you go. Make life a bit easier for you. How's your day been? Struggling away through the week, I trust. It's only hump day today, so only a couple more working days to go for most of us, I guess. And for those unfortunate enough to be working over the weekends, and for those of us who just don't know a difference between a working day and a non-working day because they all tend to just be the same. I hope you're having a good one too. Tonight's show's got a whole heap of interesting stuff in it, and interesting to me. Whether you find it that way, I don't know. I did tell you last night I was going to do a show this morning. By the time I woke up this morning, there was so much happening that it was better that I sat and watched and figured out what was going on. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for the day, waiting for Hawaii to go underwater, waiting for parts of Alaska and the west coast of America to go underwater, and certainly parts of Japan, which have gone underwater. There are a lot of areas, though, that have gone underwater in Russia. That's where this underwater earthquake happened, 8.8 on the Richter scale. And in the big scheme of things, when it comes to exactly what sort of damage you can expect for any given earthquake and the scale that they put on it, the Richter scale, let's have a bit of a look. So 8.8, call it 9 just about, but they don't, because the area of magnitude, or the number of magnitude between an 8.7, as it was first called, and an 8.8 is much greater than just a 0.1 of a degree. And to step it up into a 9 means there is also a lot more happening underground. However, we haven't had an earthquake on this planet since, I think it was 11 years ago. And that one was pretty devastating. That was off the coast of Japan. You might remember it had a rather large impact on a nuclear power generating plant called Fukushima, which today was evacuated again, all the staff taken out of it, and there was some inundation in Japan. I don't believe it was huge or drastic. And when it came to Hawaii, the dangers there, they were expecting waves up to 3 meters. In what the vision that I saw, the height of the waves did come up over the wharves, if you like, in certain parts of Hawaii, but the water didn't go terribly far and didn't do any damage. There was no loss of life, no people in trouble. In fact, people were still driving around in their cars, waiting, watching. I don't know. Is that the kind of people we are in the world? Got to ask yourself. If you think there is a tsunami coming, you're going to rush to the coast, stand on the highest part of the Gold Coast hinterland, let's say, in our case here, and watch it coming towards you? Or are you going to skedaddle inland and try and get to the highest point inland, or as far away from a coast as you possibly can? I guess it depends on the size of the tsunami and whether or not you believe it's going to come. Certainly a lot of people in Hawaii believed it was going to come, and that was the reason why. Everything shaded in red was meant to get a wave anywhere up to 3 meters in size, and the waves that did come were less than 2 meters, I believe, and didn't cause, as I say, any damage at all. So thankfully, all and sundry seem to be quite well and moving on there today. Before I bring on our guest tonight and talk about our lottery, well, I'll talk about our lottery now, merch.vofhq.com, and if you go to the top of that page and click on the Sanctuary $750 link, you'll be able to buy a ticket in our $750 lottery. Now, we're trying to churn this over as often as possible because we want to be able to donate as much as possible and to help others as much as possible. And to do that, we need to get a little bit of a bank behind us. But every ticket sold has a portion of it going to help the Good Samaritan Donkey Snactury. And if you can go and help us churn our way through draw number 4, which we are at the moment, and I think there's there's less than 500 tickets left in that draw. You can purchase a maximum of 20 tickets in any one draw. So that would be $40. And you'll go into the draw for this $750. As soon as we churn this particular lottery over, we're going to start draw number 5. And draw number 5 will have with it a little bit of a bonus. Now, Vince and I have yet to decide, and I haven't spoken to him today. I hope to speak to him tonight, whether or not this is going to be a $750 prize, and we'll make a second draw to make a prize of the 1 gram of Ainsley bullion gold that we will be gifting. That was gifted to me by a couple of you who wish to remain nameless, but a couple of supporters of this program have offered up these grams of gold, which there is more than one, and we are aiming to be able to give away one of those every 5th draw at this stage, and I'm looking to augment all the draws in between with a little bit of silver. And Vince and I hope to have something we can show you and explain to you what we're going to do with that in the coming days. But I'll have to wait and see how far we've gone on that. We had a late night conversation last night and got very excited about a lot of things. And then he went off to play video games, and I tried to learn how to use a CAD machine, drawing machine. And that didn't go very well at all, just between you, me, and the gatepost. So we have a few plans. So if we can encourage you to help us help not just the Good Samaritan Donkey Sanctuary, but others in our community, we would encourage you to do so by buying a ticket in our lottery. And the place to go is, I'll get the link and type it up. It is in the description, but it gives me a good reason to pop over to the chat, because I forgot to do that at the top of the show and say hi. So I'm posting that into the chats now, and if you can grab yourself a ticket, or 5 or 2 or 10 or whatever you decide, it would be gratefully received. Macca, first in the house tonight, brother. Nice to have you in. And the lovely Deb Shepherd. I did see some sad news from Michelle Bradley Smith. You had to send one of your beloved pups across the Rainbow Bridge today. Oh, God, I feel for you. I'm so sorry you've had to do it. I know when these times come, it's the best thing to do, and it does offer some comfort, I guess, but still, it's a very, very hard thing. So I'm feeling for you, Michelle. That's very sad news indeed. Hello to everybody in the house. Harm, haven't seen you pop in for a little while. Nice to have you in. The lovely Connie, our most recent winner in our Donkey Sanctuary / Voice of Freedom lottery. She's in too. Sandy was in the chat, but she's now sitting in the back room here waiting for me to put her on, and we will get to her in the not too distant future. Plenty to see in the world at the moment, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, folks. There is a lot of interesting things going on in America, in the political scene. You might say not enough. And the US Congress seems to have risen now and will not be doing anything significant between now and September. Many are saying that this is hoping that the Epstein dramas will go away. I can tell you that the Epstein dramas are not going away, and that there is a lot more to come. Sunflower, how are you, darling? I hope life, the universe, and everything is going well for you, Rick, and the fam. Tony, love to see you. Phil, another one of our former winners of the competition. Phil Cooker in the house tonight too, mate. I hope you are well. Thank you for your video. Connie was going to send a video. Did you send a video, Connie? If you did, I haven't gone and had a look. That might be my fault. Silver Fox, Kathy, the great Aussie patriot. Nice to have you in, mate. Katrina, and everybody else who's in there. Oh, yada, 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 yada. A lot of people in Queensland, quite all back. Oh, yeah, right. That's what happened, Kev. A lot of people drove to the beach when a tsunami was coming to watch the tsunami. Yeah, okay. All good. All right, folks. Well, let's keep kicking on. If you would like to, as I say, grab yourself a ticket in that lottery. I will post the link up there one more time, and then I will flick myself back over here to where we should be. Bec Freedom has been pushing an interesting story on Facebook in the last 24 hours or so, and it involves Avi from Rebel Media and an event that happened with Nick Patterson and his group down in Melbourne over the weekend. That event involved an African man turning up in a jacket, a zip-up jacket, with a T-shirt underneath supporting some kind of black Nazi kind of, I'm not even sure what it was meant to represent, to be honest, but it was certainly meant to be something to do with black Nazism. I'll bring up the first of these posts that I saw. Now, this guy, Cole Davis, is the name that this black African gentleman, whose name is Dang, is using here. He said, Rebel News did pay for Ye Heil Hitler T-shirt and followed me to hijack Nick Patterson's Christian protest. I work for Rebel News to provoke, infiltrate, and disrupt white nationalists. Now, this is supposedly coming from Dang. There is another one. He says, how to make protest or demonstration interesting, being provocative. And then someone replies, did things play out as you envisioned? And this Cole Davis, Deng, replies, I pranked Avi so hard to the point that he thinks that I'm part of the NSN. I have one immediate problem with this that pokes out, and that is that those two messages from Cole Davis, the top one and the bottom one, I think are written by different people with a different command of the English language. The top one is written by someone whose grasp of the English language, well, could possibly be, me, you, or anybody else, but doesn't lend itself to that sort of syntax. The bottom part, though, is written as you or I may write that, with somebody with a very good command of the English language. It was Avi that gave me the Heil Hitler T-shirt and threw away the package, and it was Avi that paid me shekels at the local shop to disrupt while nationalist presence from peaceful protest. What I didn't download later on, there was further email or further posts like that where it was laid out that $1,000 was paid to this person to put that shirt on and to walk into Nick Patterson's Christian Project and disrupt it. It was paid by someone either associated to Avi or by Avi himself, but I believe it was paid by someone associated with him, or that's what these alleged things say. $500 up front, which would have arrived with the T-shirt. They asked for an address to send the T-shirt to, and were supplied it. And then $500 on the day as a way of cleaning up the bill, so to speak. But with the express desire that he goes in, doesn't do anything outrageous, just goes in, creates a disturbance, and gets thrown out. And as it turned out, this person, the black African gentleman, you may have seen that vision, I'm not going to play it, came into Nick's event. Nick had no idea he was there until Avi went and got him. And if you do watch that video, I just didn't have time to find it again and grab it before this show. That's why I'm not playing it, but it is freely available. Just watch the way Avi rips open this guy's jacket to display this shirt. First of all, what's Avi doing, putting hands on someone in the crowd, whether they are wearing a shirt or supposedly being provocative? What's he doing? Put his hands on someone, and he put his hands on someone in a familiar way. He also put his hands on this person in a way to unzip the jacket, the zip-up jacket that was hiding the T-shirt, and pull it open so as to display the chest. And then he said to the guy, show us what's on your chest, and so this guy then displays the symbol that's on his chest. It just struck me at the time that I saw it as some really piss-poor acting. Now, I don't believe Nick Patterson was involved, other than, he was hyped up to do something about this. Harvey wanted the bloke thrown out, and anybody associated with him. However, there were a lot of Lions of Zion, and particularly some dressed very similarly to bikies, I would have said, wearing the Lions of Zion patch, which weren't asked to leave. They weren't asked to leave in any way, shape, or form. So I will try and endeavour to get a hold of Bec Freedom tomorrow and see if she wants to come on tomorrow night and have a bit of a chat about this and see what else has developed over time. I've got to admit, it's not a story I'm following. I've never been someone who follows Harvey for a variety of reasons. And this is probably one of the better public examples of why that is the case. So I'm not for one moment suggesting that Harvey has done something nefarious here, but certainly I believe he's released a video at some point today about this. He's tried to rebut a lot of what's been said. I haven't seen that video. It may be quite plausible what's going on, but the whole thing just struck me as quite strange. And then the English writing abilities. And look, it might be possible that these African people learn English better than we do and are very capable of typing it, texting it, and doing whatever else with it. I'm not casting aspersions. Just saying it's a bit weird, and it's not my usual experience of how all that works. Speaking of a bit weird, this bloke, he's been popping up in the news today because he got terribly excited and managed to get pushed through to today what is called an urgency motion, that in the opinion of the Senate, the following is a matter of urgency: the need to recognise that the Internet Search Engine Services Online Safety Code, which requires age assurance measures for account holders of search engines, must be amended as it represents another layer of digital surveillance dressed up as child protection and raises many, many privacy issues. I have to say, Ralph Babet should be very proud of himself today because he won a majority in the Senate today. The crossbenchers all, I think, moved to support him, and there was an urgency motion passed. I haven't heard anything else about it since then. I'm not saying they haven't done anything. I'm just saying I haven't heard anything about it. Now, I think what an urgency motion means is that they get to stand up and all get to say something against or in support of this motion before they go and vote it through and make it law. If that is the case, they might also offer up a number of amendments which clearly need to be made. But it was interesting today to see that I believe there were Labor members of the Senate that got up and supported this. So what I'm saying may not be 100% correct because I haven't had time today, this afternoon particularly, to go and check out and find out exactly what happened. But if that is the case, I would say that's very encouraging. I could be completely screwed up and have been hedged by some AI thing today, but let's hope that isn't the case. Moving on quickly because I don't want to keep Sandy sitting in the background for too much longer. You know this bitch and that bastard? Well, they're back in the news today, and it appears that Ghislaine Maxwell is going to be pushing shit uphill when it comes to getting an immunity deal for her testimony to the Oversight Committee of the US House now, or the US Congress. Now, this has been laid to bear with the powers that be over there suggesting that it wouldn't be in the best interests to grant anything like a full pardon or a congressional immunity in exchange for her testimony. She has been subpoenaed to testify before the panel on the 11th of August. And the kicker here is that she will be in the Tallahassee jail facility that she's been serving her prison sentence in. Now, that's made her lawyer rather energetic. He says Ms. Maxwell can't risk further criminal exposure in a politically charged environment without formal immunity, nor is a prison setting conducive to eliciting truthful and complete testimony. I ask myself, what is he saying there exactly? The potential for leaks from such a setting creates real security risks and undermines the integrity of the process. Marcus further requests that the committee provide Maxwell with their questions in advance of their sit-down. Yeah. He also asked to push their meeting back until Maxwell's pending cases before the Supreme Court, in which he's alleging wrongful legal treatment, and until after the subsequent secondary challenge to her testimony, so that her testimony doesn't sway anything in those cases. That seems like a semi-reasonable thing to be asking if you're a defence lawyer for a woman like that. What's going to happen on the 11th of August? Well, she'll have to turn up Whether or not she says anything or whether or not it can be trusted might be two different things. But between now and the 11th of August is a long way away, folks, and a lot can happen. A lot can happen, and I think is happening. There has been some very interesting testimony given recently, as recently as today, by Kash Patel, John Radcliffe, the head of the CIA, and a number of intelligence generals, the head of the NSA, amongst others. They were in particular focusing today on the Pfizer court and the fraud that happened inside the Pfizer court that enabled the coup, if you like, to continue into Donald Trump's first presidency. That the Pfizer applications that were put forward, and we told you about this, how fake they were, and now, while we were questioning at the time why we were watching these hoops and the impeachments in particular, and we'll get to those in a minute, why they were so important to go through and for Trump to lose or win, as the case was, they've become now crucial in what are next steps into exposing that entire fraud of the Pfizer court. This involves James Comey. This involves President Obama. This involves Hillary Clinton. This involves the McCann fella. This involves the former head of the NSA, the former head of national intelligence, and a whole heap more of very senior Obama personnel. And today, Donald Trump's solicitor, the lawyer that stood for him during both impeachment proceedings that Democrats leveled against him, had this to say, which I thought was pretty interesting. Trump's former impeachment lawyer, David Schoen, flips the script and uses the Democrats' own argument to prove Obama can still be impeached. He can be stripped of immunity and he can be indicted for his crimes. Now, this guy is a pretty snazzy sort of a lawyer, but this is, as I say, quite a legal nuke. Barack Obama is not going to be eligible for immunity, according to this bloke, for, well, quite a few reasons. If it can be proved that after the election, he was involved in actions that instigated other actions that eventually would be colloquially brought together and known as the coup, then, well, this sets him in a whole different area. Presidential immunity is for official acts only committed while in office. So he doesn't want anybody to forget that during the second failed impeachment attempt against Trump, the Democrats moved the goalposts. Remember that? They claimed that impeachments could even apply after a president leaves office. Now, they did that because they were desperate to stop Trump running again. And it failed. But they moved the goalposts, now allowing, they created that precedent. And we talked about it at the time, that this was a very dangerous and stupid precedent they're not smart enough to see. Well, they are smart enough to see. They've been pulling the wool over our lives, for our eyes and our lives, for all our lives. They are smart enough to see. So, why didn't they? Well, they were following a script, is what I'm alluding to. And that script would be the script that we have been following, many of us, for many more than 4 or 5 years. And I believe that these actions now are going to start paying dividends. He said President Trump was right when he said the immunity decision would help President Obama. But you know what it doesn't help him with? Impeachment. So Schoen is pointing directly to a certain article and a section and a clause of the U.S. Constitution. It's the clause that the Democrats used in their secondary impeachment of Trump to argue against him and being allowed to run again and having him barred from holding any office whatsoever. He explained that the presidential immunity only protects actions while somebody is actively serving as the president. Once they are no longer in office, they lose that protection. So if a former president is involved in a criminal cover-up after leaving office, they can be held legally accountable. Immunity no longer applies. This comes on the heels of the newly declassified documents released by the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, which allegedly show Barack Obama very personally orchestrated the Russian collusion mess. And according to the Democrat Party and the House managers, the second impeachment trial, once out of office, they're still subject, as I said, to being impeached. Well, under that logic, they could impeach George Washington or Lincoln or any other president. And because of that, they can also now impeach President Obama, if this evidence really is what it says. And that would strip him of his immunity, because under that Article 1, Section 3, Clause 7 of the Constitution, that the Democrats argued it bars one from holding further office. So thank you. How nice is that? The language itself says you're still subject to criminal prosecution or indictment. So it's going to be, as he says, very interesting to see how that plays out. Also playing out in different parts of the world, freedom of speech. Now, who knew that people would need to be educated regarding freedom of speech? But Jim Jordan has gone to England to educate the Poms on freedom of speech, and it has been very well received. Now, how is he educating them on freedom of speech? He's using COVID. He has been over there exposing how the UK politicians lied effectively to the population as they discovered that had happened in America. He's now saying, well, mate, your politicians did the same thing, folks. What are you going to do about it? Isn't it time you stood up? Well, let's hope that that is exactly what's happening. He's mass pilling the UK population, and I know many of that UK population are very much believers in what's happened, but there is 69 million POMs, and then there's probably however many more, 15 to 20 million who aren't POMs living there. Might be 100 million by now, I don't know. So I think he's got quite a fight on his hands going forward, which, well, it is what it is, I guess. All right, I've rambled for long enough, half an hour. God, Sandy will have gone to sleep. It's nearly past her bedtime. But I was talking to the lovely Sandy today from the Good Samaritan Donkey Snactury, which looks like this. If you'd like to get a bit of an idea, it's a drone shot. And I'm not sure if that's the entire property or not, but it's certainly a very good portion of it. I don't think it's showing the woodyard. So that gives you a bit of an idea of just how beautiful a spot it is, and just what a wonderful place it would be for a donkey to live out their days. Without further ado, can I introduce you to my wonderful friend and one of the most beautiful people on this planet, lovely Sandy from the Good Samaritan Donkey Snactury. Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
Hi, how you going? Hi, Carl.
Oh.
Everyone.
Hey, you're wet. It's going to rain again. You've just had to lock up 100 and however many donkeys and keep them out of the rain again. Yep. Never ending, is it?
No, I know. We didn't have as much as expected today, but tomorrow we're in for about 30 mil, which is not that much, but Friday's about the same, and about 50 mil on Saturday. So yeah, it's a bit much, especially with the ground already so saturated from, last month's flood.
Yeah, for sure. There's nowhere for the water to go, really, is it? Because the ground is just full up.
Yeah, and all our dams are full, which is great. All our tanks are full, which is great. But so are our creeks and rivers. So
yeah,
it's got nowhere to go. No.
Well, speaking of nowhere to go, you find yourself in the position every other day, I imagine, getting requests for animals that have nowhere to go. And while you probably get requests for all sorts of things, donkeys are your forte. And thank God for you and your mum who started all of this, and you've kept it going, because God knows what would happen to these beautiful animals if there weren't places like, I know you're not the only person in Australia who does this, but you are a very, very significant player in donkey management and donkey health in this country. And I just wanted the viewers of the Voice of Freedom to maybe get a bit of an understanding of why I want to support the Good Samaritan Donkey Sanctuary so much, and why, while at the moment it isn't a fortune that we're giving you every time we roll over for one of these lotteries, it is money that is worthwhile, and you're putting it to great use. So before I get into our main story tonight, do you just want to give me a brief overview? We don't have to go into the numbers specifically, but of the money that we donate, give people an idea of what it helps you do. Like, does it help one donkey get brushed, or get a toothbrush, or get a hoof clean, or how many bales of hay, that kind of thing?
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Carl. Look, the money that you guys all raise for us and Carl, of course, we obviously obtain a percentage of that. And look, so for $175, for instance, that will do 4 bales of hay for half. We've got 23 in ICU in our hospital at the moment, so that those 4 bales of hay will do half of them for a day. Or it might do, say, 9 trims, like farrier trims, and they're every 6 weeks. And that's just, 9 donkeys per every 6 weeks. It might pay for one dentist, pay for a dentist to do 1 donkey. We had the vet today, for instance, come and do a health check on our 2 newbies, which is Zeb and Lulu. And her bill came in this afternoon at $600, and let me read that. It was $608.15. So that will go towards today's vet bill. So that's
so every little bit helps, but we'd love to be able to do more.
Yeah.
And vet bills obviously form a large part of the expenses, along with food, obviously, that you guys have to come up with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And just last weekend you had 2 new arrivals come and join.
So that's Lulu at the front that I'm leading, and at the back is little Zeb, which is what Amanda is leading. So that's Lulu, that picture, and the little fella at the back, that's Lulu. She's a darling. She's 14 years of age. And that's Zeb, that one with the blue feed bin. Lulu does possibly have either Cushing's or diabetes. I had the test done today, but I probably won't get the results to that till Friday. And Zeb he's only 6. And for those who might follow us on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, wherever, you might have seen little Baz up featured a number of times. Little Zeb looks like Baz, so we've sort of got twins now.
Well, it's a bit unfortunate. Little Baz, beg your pardon, Little Baz does, Little Zeb looks a lot like Little Baz in a lot of ways, but unfortunately, he is different in one very special way. And this is something that people probably don't and may find difficult to comprehend. But can you just explain to us what Zeb's major medical problem is?
Okay, so when the owner who surrendered these 2, and it's through no fault of her own, so she just couldn't care for them anymore from other personal reasons, so I won't get into that. She purchased Zeb in 2020 from somewhere in northern New South Wales. He was an entire male then. He was born in 19, so he was just under a year old. And she requested that he be castrated before he she went to pick him up because she had a Jenny. She didn't want to breed or have any foals or anything like that. So she requested that he be castrated. Now, unfortunately, little Zeb, the people that did it, it was a backyard job, and they did take off one testicle and literally cut off his penis.
Oh, my God.
And left the other testicle there. Now, unfortunately, the owner who purchased him did not realize this until she got him home and was wondering why there was urine coming out of his wound. So she called a vet, which was, and I'm not going to mention names, but it was in southeast Queensland, who did corrective surgery on little Zeb. Basically, had to make a little slit there for him to be able to urinate.
I can show a couple of pictures here. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So I'll show this one first up.
So when you look at that picture, for instance, you would think that might be a Jenny, but that's not. That's a little Zeb. And normally underneath the sheath area, which is the lower part of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, that area, you would see his penis, but it's obviously not there. It's totally been removed.
This is what you see now.
Yeah, basically that's what we see now. And if I was looking at a normal gelded animal, and I should have actually taken a photo of one today, Carl. I should have. I just didn't think of that. You would actually see, like the sheath, the penis, but it's just not there. So this poor little fella has to urinate like a female donkey, which is called a Jenny. However, the hole where he has to urinate out of is placed a lot higher than what the penis and the urethra would be, because they just can't, it's very difficult. They just can't make it lower. So you can see a little pink bit there.
Yeah.
That's where he's got to urinate from. And if you know anything about equines and see, a horse's penis or a donkey's penis, mule, whatever, they have a shaft, want for a better word, and it drops down. So, he finds it difficult to urinate. And the biggest problem we're going to have here is that we can get like kidney stones. We can get stones. Urine will build up in that lower area because it can't escape. He can get infections. So he's going to have to be monitored very regularly, to just make sure that he's going to be okay for the rest of his life.
Is there, you've said he's already had a form of corrective surgery. It's not like you can, it's not like you can give a donkey a colostomy bag.
No.
I mean, realistically, is there anything further surgically that can be done, or realigning where the urethra hole is so that it's in a...
Good point, actually. My local vets are going to contact the vets up in southeast Queensland and have a good chat to them, get all the documentation and information from what the corrective surgery they were able to do straight away to save him, basically. We're also going to be in contact with the main donkey sanctuary in England to see if that's... I've already contacted them, actually, to see if there's anything further that we could possibly do to help alleviate any future problems. Yeah.
I just want to point out, there's no confusion. The vet that Sandy's referring to did corrective surgery after the initial castration of Zeb was done by a bunch of people who were not qualified. It was a home
Basically, it was a backyard job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the life of me, and in all out my years, and I've been doing this since basically I was born, and even in Mum's years, I talked to Mum about it today, and she's mortified. And even the vets, my vets, were mortified. It's a very rare occurrence.
I know a man with a plastic printer. Could we organise him a prosthetic penis?
Well, I don't know. I'll ask the vets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to test some skills.
Yeah. There was a RSPCA case against this person, and apparently he was charged, though I haven't been able to find that online anywhere. But yeah, so the poor little fella is had quite an ordeal in his short time of life so far.
Well, that's the thing. He's only 6, and well, the average lifespan of a donkey
50.
Yeah.
So they can go up to 50. I mean, our oldest that we had, she passed away some time ago now. She was 58. Her name was Alice. Yeah. So they do live for a long time.
I like Peter's suggestion here. 3D print a titanium pecker. We need to raise a little bit of fundage for the titanium to do that, Pete. But if you're happy to chip in and help, then I reckon, well, if titanium's the way to go, he'll certainly shine in the paddock.
He will.
So you've been doing this, as you say, all your life. In the scale of the injuries that you see coming on the animals that you see coming to you, where does this rate?
Oh, it'd be up there. This one would be up there. I mean, this is a healed injury though now. But it would definitely be up there. I mean, then you got the likes of Chile with the brain tumor. Thankfully, she's doing remarkably well. We've got her on hemp oil, and since she's been on that, her episodes have decreased from like every, say, 3 weeks down to, touch wood, every time I say something, I jinx myself. But I haven't seen her have an episode now for about 3 months.
Okay.
So that's brilliant. And the length of her episodes have also decreased from about 20 minutes to about 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So she's doing remarkably well. There has been some other severe cases that we've had come in. I've got a donkey here called Branda. That's the one that I'm running out to the stables throughout the night with at the moment. Yes. She came to us about 15 years ago with a broken shoulder that was fused. So someone bought a property, of 600 or 1,000 acres. The people that sold the property said, "Oh, we used to have a donkey, but she's dead and gone, not there anymore." And lo and behold, 6 months later, this donkey hobbled out from the bushes and with a massive, her arms out like this.
Wow.
But it's because it's fused that way. It's amazing she survived. I don't know how she survived. But donkeys are very, very stoic. They're, got a very high pain threshold. And generally, you don't know anything's wrong with them until they're near death or there's something serious and you've got to call the vet. But you've got to be in tune to know your donkey sort of thing, to understand what's going on with each animal.
So Dusty brings up a point here. We shouldn't, don't want to be mean or cruel to animals at all. They're all God's creatures, but the donkeys are a bit closer to God than most, aren't they?
Well, they are. Well, they are God's chosen creature. Look at the cross on their back.
Yeah.
So, every donkey's got a cross on their back. Even little Disco's got, and May have a cross on their back. Yep. You just don't see it on the solid coloured ones, especially chocolates or whites. But if you were to shave their hair off, you'd actually see the cross embedded in their skin.
That amazes me. and the fact that they played such a pivotal role in the early part of the Bible. In fact, they're mentioned all the way through the Bible, but on the first page, I think you'll find them, don't you? Or first page related to that part. Yeah.
And they are the first domesticated animal. And don't forget, they've been helping mankind for thousands of years.
Yeah.
You know, thousands. You look at them now. I mean, they're still beasts of burden in a lot of third world countries. So, you know, they're people's livelihoods in a lot of places. And they're very hard work. They can carry 3 times their body weight.
Yeah, and they don't deal well in wet conditions, which is,
No, sadly. They are a desert animal, so yeah. And another point is, and people may not know this, that donkeys don't have the necessary oils in their coat to protect them from the rain, being a desert animal. So they have to have shelter of like a shed or, you know, stable or something to be able to protect them from the rain, especially in what we're going to get now.
Do they feel the cold then because they don't have that oil and that insulating effect?
Yeah, they do. They can get pneumonia quite easily. Yeah,
right.
They can get pneumonia. And some of our old golden oldies, as I call them, or our geriatrics, they've got a lot of arthritic issues. So winter is pretty tough for them. Yeah.
Denise is saying that the donkey's whinny cries out to Jesus.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, I don't know that that's what I'd say May is doing when she starts screaming at you from the top paddock.
No. I can't wait to daylight savings so I can show everybody a live of May.
Yeah. Well, you don't make her a star. You know what she's like. Bring disco out.
Yeah.
Just explain to us what we're looking at here, can you?
Yeah. Okay. So the big dark green shed to the right of where all the sheds are. That's our, lower right is our main ICU stable complex, and that has 6 massive stables which can convert into 12. So and that's all undercover with individual runs there. The white roof to the left is the residence, which is where Barry and myself live, because we live on site. The top left is our main farrier shed, which looks quite small in that image, but trust me, it's actually bigger than the ICU, and that can house probably 100 donkeys under there. But it's a big open shed. The little shed in the middle sort of thing to the right of the big farrier shed is where the office is, and the shed to the right is what we call the visitor room and our workshop area.
Yep, and I can vouch for the size of them, folks. This picture does not do them justice either. They're pretty big areas with some of the most comfortable beds I've ever slept in, by the way, just between you, me, and the gatepost. So how much area do you have?
We have 300 acres.
Yeah, so there's plenty of room for them to roam. A lot of that was underwater and flooded, and you can't send the donkeys down into a mud-riddled paddock. So how are you going with area you can put them on at the moment? I know you've got a bit of high ground at your place.
So we probably lose at the moment, and we probably lose again this week because of the wet weather, around 80 acres.
Yeah, right. Okay. So,
but not all of the 300 is usable. The mountain, because we've got a big mountain at the back, and that's probably around 170 acres.
Yep.
So we've got about 100 acres, or a bit less, roughly, that we can use. But the lower section, when it floods, we lose about 70 or 80 odd acres. Yeah.
Okay. I don't suppose I should have lined you up for this rather than dumping on it right now. I don't suppose you've got a donkey pack handy you could take us through to explain to people the kinds of stuff that you send off.
You should say that.
Yes,
I was prepared.
You were. How wonderful!
I was. Yeah. So every pack will be different. But for example, You're going to get, if you can see it, a magnet. See, it's probably not going to show because of my fat head in there. There's a magnet because I've got the donkeys in the background. You'll get something like a little donkey ornament thing. You'll get a key ring. You'll get a pen. You'll get a bottle opener thing. You'll get most likely a pocket hug. You'll get a bag, which has got Donkey Sanctuary on it, and you probably can't see it.
There you go. Nearly got it. Yep.
Nearly got it. You'll probably get either a sunglasses case thing, or you might get a cushion cover. You might get something for your car, and I usually throw in a card or two, and of course some brochures and paraphernalia on the donkeys and a newsletter.
Beautiful. Margot wants to know, can we make wool coats for them?
Wool coats? I haven't heard of that one.
Well, I guess if you're good at knitting.
Yeah.
I
I'd be in for that.
You'd have to line them, wouldn't you? Wool on the outer and put a lining on the inside? Or would the wool be okay just
put it straight on. That would only be useful for the ones that are in ICU that don't go outside, for instance.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be done.
Pardon?
So it could be done.
Yeah, for sure.
You might have to measure up a donkey and give us some dimensions, and we can put them out. And sounds like Margot's a bit of a knittist.
Yeah, well, Margot, sounds like you're onto something there. I'll have to hit you up. It might be a bit big.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a decent sized rug.
Yeah.
Denise, was I put out in the outhouse? No, I wasn't put in the outhouse, but I was allowed to use it, thankfully. And what else is going on in here? Oh, here we go. Sunflower loves her cushion cover and her donkey bag. She didn't win a lottery to get that. She had dinner, I think, wasn't it, with you?
Yeah,
that was about all that happened there.
Yeah, we met up with her after seeing you that time.
Yeah.
And, I gave her a little gift.
So here is somebody who seems to be intimately associated with your donkeys. He says the coolest donkey we have here is called Gilbert.
Yeah,
do you want to
Barry? Gilbert's our oldest resident we've got here. He's 47.
Wow.
Actually, sorry, he's 48 now.
Wow.
I've been saying he's 47 for years, so he's probably about 48 now. Could even be 49. So if he lives till he's 50, we'll have a massive party for him.
That's a plan. We can be part of that. Very happy to be part of that.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll let you go and finish dinner with Baz, and I want to thank you sincerely for everything that you do for me, but more particularly what you do for the donkeys. You and the team. It's not just you and Barry. You have a core group around of volunteers who help you.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you would like? What can we offer as the Voice of Freedom family, other than buying a $2 ticket in the lottery, which I think if I hit that, I should be able to paste the link up into the chat again right about now. What else could we do?
Yeah, I think it's well, like you say, like and subscribe. So if anyone's on any of the other social media pages, go around and find the Donkey Sanctuary, Good Samaritan Donkey Sanctuary. Please like and share all our posts, and it just helps with all the algorithms, you see. So the more likes that we can get, the better it's going to be for us.
Yep, and
not that we get anything out of it, but it helps spread the word out.
Yep, and the same for this program too, folks. Have you liked it for tonight's show? Have you enjoyed tonight's content? Would you share this show, please? Like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, we're still trying to get to that magic number. We've got to within 3 of 11,000, and then I don't know. I must say something that upsets somebody because overnight I lose 9 or 10 subscribers for some reason. So it's actually quite funny to watch the way YouTube are suppressing and suppressing and suppressing. But if you haven't subscribed, or even if you have previously, please check that you are still subscribed, because the other trick that little YouTube play on you is that they will unsubscribe you from channels like mine and not tell you about it. So, and you don't think to go and look at it because you think, oh, I subscribed. That was, in fact, one of the reasons why many people weren't getting notifications. You know, people were complaining I didn't get a notification. Well, that's because they had unsubscribed you in some cases. So, yeah. Anyway, oh, here we go. Carlene, thank you very much. Shared to my place, Yatla. Beautiful. Really appreciate it. And to all the My Place people, Penny, I don't know if you're watching at the moment, but if you can help share the program and share the opportunity for people to help at the Donkey Sanctuary by simply spending $2 and buying a ticket in our lottery for a chance to win $750 for yourself and helping out the Donkey Sanctuary, along with the Voice of Freedom and a few other bits and pieces and people along the way too. And we'll elaborate more on that in the days and weeks ahead. It's not something I plan to tell you a great deal about because I don't want to be seen as something I don't believe that I am. But we're going to be helping as many of you as we can in other ways. And to do that, as I say, we can only generate money to help people with money through this lottery. So if you can help us, we sincerely need it. And as I say, we will give more and more and more, as much as possible, to help Sandy and Baz and everybody at the Good Samaritan Donkey Sanctuary do what they can to help these amazing creatures. God love you, woman. You are just one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being part of this Voice of Freedom family.
No, thank you. And thanks, everyone, for supporting us and Carl. We're very grateful and hope to see you all again soon.
See you soon, baby. Looking forward to catching up with her and Baz in the not too distant future. That didn't go well. I have to make a little trek down south in the near future. It won't be in the bus. It'll be in something else. But I will spend a night with Sandy and Baz on the way down or on the way back, and we'll do a show from there. So we can have a little bit of a chat, and hopefully there'll be a little bit of daylight around so we can introduce you to parts of the property. If you haven't already seen it, you can go back through the Voice of Freedom videos on the YouTube channel, and you will find there is a Good Samaritan Donkey video I did up with Sandy a little while ago now, probably 6 or 8 months ago. But it will show you around and give you a bit of an idea. Go and have a look at Disco if you don't know who we're talking about there, and May too. And I'll, on that note, I don't know that I've got much else to share with you tonight. Oh, yes, there was one thing today. It was quite spectacular. The Gilmore space rocket did, in fact, get to launch this morning. This is what it looked like when it took off, and that was about the best that it looked. Shortly after, it looked a lot like that. Well, that's still it taking off, actually. So looking good there. Shortly after that, it went A over T, went sideways, blew up, and 14 seconds of flight. Of actual flight. It raised itself out of the retainer, but then drifted sideways, and it didn't have enough thrust, is, I guess, the biggest takeaway of it. It had enough to just get it off the pad, but it was unable to maintain stability in its gyro-locked scape. It started to sway and moved over, and then just collapsed in on itself. There are multiple videos of it you can watch. The one I got was live from an alt media service, and I think they were using a P1000 camera like mine. They were a long way away from this launch site, obviously, and it was a bit scratchy. And just as the thing launched, the bloke got so excited he knocked the camera and pointed it in a different direction for a while. So you sort of missed most of it. There are better ones available. I'm sure Sky News or someone like that has got it if you want to see it. But look, all power to them. If we're going to be involved in the space race, well, I think we have to be involved in the space race, at least to find out whether or not there's anything above the firmament or not. Can we get through the firmament might be the question. Oh, look, I'm not going to engage in that sort of commentary and questioning again. People will start calling me all sorts of weird, and we can't have that. They might name me a dickhead. And tomorrow I will be on the road.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants out
outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!